Hello everybody, happy St. Patrick's Day. Today we're baking a cake, so this part's going to be pretty quick. It's going to be a short, just kind of getting things together. I have some Betty Crocker super moist triple chocolate fudge cake. So I'm just going to do 2 boxes of those. One box will end up being cupcakes and the other will be a 2-layer 9-inch round. So I've already started by washing my hands, and then we're just going to throw this together. A lot of professional bakeries actually use box mix because it's just faster, and a lot of times it's cheaper than trying to do it separate. There are things you can do to kind of upgrade the box mixes, which I've done before. If people have questions, feel free to reach out and I can help you one-on-one, or I'll do it again to kind of explain ways you can upgrade a box mix to make it a little more customized. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. So these just each call for 1 1/4 cups of water, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, and 3 eggs each. And it's heat the oven to 350. So we'll start with that. Mix everything together. Beat for 2 minutes and then pour in the pan. Lewis, hello. Yes, we are doing a triple chocolate fudge super moist Betty Crocker delights. And then tonight, after this cools, I'm going to do some chocolate and vanilla frosting, and we're going to decorate the cakes. So I'll show some different decorating techniques. Baking a cake is actually pretty easy, especially if you get a box mix, which is why I recommend just get the box mix. It's straightforward. Everything's already measured for you. It's all ready to go. Yeah, it's it's that time of year, so it was kind of funny because I ordered this stuff early last week, and my dad came over yesterday, was talking about wanting to bake a cake. And I was like, well, actually, that's what I ordered to do this week. So I'm going to be making a layer cake for them and cupcakes for myself. He's like, well, maybe I'll hold off then because we don't need that much cake. I'm like, yeah, I wasn't planning on doing 2 boxes. I was just going to do a bunch of cupcakes. But my family will have a whole cake to themselves and probably some cupcakes, and then I'll share some cupcakes with friends. And I'll just kind of do some spring decorating ideas. I was going to do some flowers. When both your parents are diabetic, there is a thing as too much cake. And then, yeah, so tonight I did get gel food coloring. So we'll do Hello Cat. This is all Kat's idea, so blame her. Like I said, this first part's going to be pretty quick because it's literally mixing it up, portioning it out, and putting it in the oven. Then it's going to bake about 15 minutes for the cupcakes. I think about 25 minutes for the layers. And then I have to let them cool 2 to 4 hours. So I'll be back around 6 Eastern Daylight Time. People, we're on daylight time. Don't argue with me about it. Sorry. So yesterday I had a really good day. And then I came back and someone said they were doing a giveaway at 7:30 Eastern Standard. I'm like, okay, so do you mean like 7:30 current time, which is daylight time, or 7:30 Eastern Standard, which is an hour and a half from now? And they're like, we're on Eastern Standard Time. I was like, no, daylight savings happened this weekend. That's why hours changed. So we're on Eastern Daylight Time. And then they didn't believe me and they wanted to argue. So I was like, fine, go to Google. I promise you. I've already checked this today to make sure. And we're on daylight time. So they check Google. And they're like, well, I searched Google and Google still says that it's 7 Eastern Standard Time. I was like, no, if you look, it says EDT, Eastern Daylight Time, not Eastern Standard. Like, well, people should know what I mean. And then I was mad that I wasted my time on the internet. So, 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, because I spent a lot of time yesterday trying to decide if I was going to switch my hours so that I was still running at the same time I was before, because there are still like a lot of countries that don't do daylight time. But I figured I'll adjust and work around other people. So if this is still too early for some people, I apologize. We'll make it work. I can adjust. It's not a big deal. Just don't argue with me about whether or not daylight savings is a thing, because it is, and it's annoying, and it messes us all up. Okay, so again, it's half a cup each for oil, so I'm going to need a whole cup. And then 1.25 cups of water, so that's 2.5 cups. So this is 2 cups, and we'll just add another half cup. Lost an hour of sleep? Yeah. Yes, we all lost an hour of sleep. There. And then I can finish off this oil. Get out my next one. So much oil, but it's delicious, so we're fine. I think I'll actually get out the hand mixer today. It's been a while. Normally I just do it myself, but I'm feeling kind of lazy today. I just got out of bed and put on clothes. I am dressed for St. Patrick's Day. I'm wearing a Guinness shirt because I didn't feel like wearing a green tank top. And then I don't think you're going to be able to see. I can move it this way. My lucky leggings. I'm so funny. The oven's already up to 315, so that's almost ready. Like I said, it's really quick and easy to bake a cake. Just do a box mix. This is why most professionals do a box mix. And hand mixer. And for this, you just want to fully incorporate, so it says 2 minutes on medium speed. So I'm going to make sure that's off, plug these in. Okay. And then put it in before turning it on. To be like super mixed. I'm just going to grab a spatula. I want to make sure I got all the stuff from the sides off. Make sure there's no, because you still want some lumps in there. That's kind of important. You don't want too many lumps. You don't want any big lumps. So I just want to make sure there's still no powder. because if the powder hasn't been fully mixed, there's a problem. But nope, looks like we got a nice cake batter here. Wow, look how difficult. So sweet. Hello, how are you? Somehow related to the famous go. I wish that would be amazing. Okay, then where did I put? This is why I don't like putting things away, because then I lose it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So you want to make sure you grease your pans. A lot of times when you're doing cake, it helps to butter and flour. That makes sure it doesn't stick. You can also put wax paper down. I'm just going to spray them and hope for the best. Generously, like, you kind of can't overspray here because you really don't want your cake to stick. This is one of the most important steps of baking cake. You don't want it to stick. While you play some games? Yeah, I just jumped on. I'm baking a cake so that I can decorate it later. So sweet. We're doing triple chocolate, so yeah, it should be good. It should be really good. All right. Yeah, it should be fine. Since the rounds take longer, I'm going to go ahead and get those started. And that way, while I put in the cups for the cupcakes, we'll be fine. Just trying to make sure these are as even as possible. Kind of important when doing a layer cake, and then we will also level them out in a bit. There. I think that's good. One of the things I like to do is I put them on a baking tray. Just makes it easier to get them in and out if they'll both fit nicely. Which they won't. Oh well. Abby, hello. I'm doing well. Did not want to get out of bed today, which is pretty standard for me. I'm not gonna lie. All right. So we'll get that started at about 25 minutes. And now we can start on the cupcakes. If you don't have the liners, then you just spray these two. They're also non-stick, but I like the liners, especially when I'm decorating the cakes. I think they look cute. So we'll do those. And then you can just use a spoon, an ice cream scoop, things like that. I do have a batter scoop, so I'll grab that. Makes it easier to make sure that they're equal amounts so they bake evenly. That's the main reason why you want to have equal amounts. Oh, and I'm making a mess. I did check. I do not have a green apron. I have a blue and yellow one, so I'll probably wear that later. But you can see why this is meant for ice cream, because it's kind of throwing my batter everywhere. I'm also not being super careful, as usual. If I wasn't doing cupcakes and cake, like typically I do the cupcakes first because then I know if I have any extra batter. I'm hoping I divvied half out correctly. Well, we'll find out. Jamie, no worries. I know you're at work. It's that kind of day. Like I said, I just hopped on so that I could get the cake started, show people. I don't think it's anything super crazy, but that's just me. And Jamie, I will hang out with you later on today when you go live, because you're not on daylight savings, so instead of that being 3 to 6 my time, it is now 4 to 7. So that's why I was trying to decide if I was going to do Eastern Standard or Eastern Daylight Time. And why it's an important distinction. On the plus side, I did get some books yesterday. Like, I haven't left my house in a long time. And so I went to a local store. I was the only one in there. And I bought a couple of books. And they have to do with cooking. So I'm excited. I was starting to read through them. And then I realized how late it was getting in the day. And I had to get out of bed. But it's giving me some good ideas of recipes to do. One of these books is Recipes with Intentions. So it's using more natural ingredients, focusing on health, things like that. Not Haley, yeah, cake and cupcakes. So I have the 9-inch round layers in right now. And then I'm just putting the cupcakes together. Get those in, and then tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, so 5.5 hours, I will show how to level the cakes and then how to decorate them. So I'll make fresh frosting, we'll level out the cakes, we'll layer them, we'll frost them, and then while the crumb coat cools on the cake, I'll show how to do some different frosting techniques for cupcakes, which helps me practice for decorating the cake. This I wasn't sure if I was going to go live for, but for posterity's sake, so people can kind of see and have an idea, baking a cake is pretty straightforward. You just get the ingredients together and call it a day. That was one of the first things I think I ever made were cakes. Of course I can't do anything simple, so the very first time baking a cake I decided I wanted a meringue. And if anyone's ever tried to bake a cake or make meringue, it's not easy. It's not fun, and if you've never cooked before, don't start there. I mean, you can if you're crazy like me, because it's just throwing you in the deep end of baking. Because I mean, I learned pretty quick about separating eggs. I wasted quite a few eggs because I had never done it before. There. Good. I think I did get these evenly. I think we're good. I think we got this. There's a little bit of batter left over, but part of that is because, oh no, don't do it. I'm not filling this batch quite as much as I filled that one. And then I get to lick this. Oh yeah, that's gonna be good. What better way to celebrate St. Patrick's Day than with some chocolate? I'll probably do a couple St. Patty's cupcakes for myself too. Oops. I want to practice trying to make some leaves and clovers. I'll try doing some flowers because I know Easter's coming up quickly. So if you want to bake a cake and put some pretty flowers on it, it's not as hard as it seems. I highly recommend not using store-bought frosting though. I've tried it. It's not easy. I have different tips for decorating, but I can explain how to make those with just like plastic bags too. Yeah, decorating for Easter. I do have some eggs and I could hard boil them and get some stuff, so next week I can do some Easter egg decorating. I've seen some really cool stuff. The one I've always wanted to try was silk tie dyeing, but I hate wasting silk ties. But man, I've not decorated Easter eggs, gosh, in at least a decade. Yum. Okay. So the rounds have another like 16 minutes still, so I'm just gonna give it one more minute and then I'll put these in. With pressed flowers? Ooh, nice. I know there's so many different ways. I'll have to see what I can get my hands on, because yeah, I haven't dyed eggs. I've thought about it for Halloween because you crack the shell and then you dye it purple. And that way you get that shell crackle effect on the egg itself. And then you take those and you do deviled eggs. So it has the purple crackle on the outside of the egg, and you add some green dye to the deviled egg mix. And it actually looks really cool. I've always wanted to try it. I just have never done it. Also, this is my breakfast, you guys. I'm going to be so hyped up today. By the time they're decorated, I'm not going to want any more. Okay. So again, I just put them on baking sheets. It makes it easier for me to grab, because then I can just grab the tray. And I do have a convection oven, so I know these are going to bake evenly. Otherwise, I probably would do 2 separate batches. There. All right. And that went in right at 15 minutes, so we're good. Now I just have to wipe down all the spills I made and let them cool. So I will be back, like I said, in 5.5 hours, and we'll spend an hour or 2 decorating. So I apologize for such a quick little how to bake a cake, but that's all it is. Throw it in there and let it bake, and you'll see how they come out in a little bit. They're looking good. So enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys in about 5 hours. Bye.